Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel outside the target demographic. Today we're going to be doing a one-day usage review on the SOG Power Pint. Let's get started. 24 hours into replacing my Swiss Champ with this guy. And so far I'm liking it. It's quite a bit lighter, who would have thought, than the Swiss Champ there. The biggest issue I found off the rip is the lanyard accessory holder is useless. The problem I find with it is I usually have a flashlight. You've seen them before. It's the S11, and you'll notice it's not attached to this one. When this is connected, when the flashlight is connected, I don't have access to the main blade because that flashlight's in the way. Even if I start opening that main blade, the flashlight is going to be in the way. So I had to delete my flashlight, which honestly is one of the more used tools with my Swiss Champ. Connects to the keyring that is not useless. You can hear the tactile audible snap of the tool sets. I do like that. The Victorinoxes are slip joints. There are no locks. The only thing I don't like about that is you have a sympathetic opening system. So I don't think that's by design. I think that's the lower quality control than the 125 plus year old Swiss manufactured Swiss precision Swiss Army knife. But I think it's most prevalent with the scissors. So as I pull the scissors out, it will usually engage the cap lifter as well, which is fine. I can put the cap lifter away. If I don't, the scissors do not lock into place. So I have to put those away before the spring mechanism will start working. So it's kind of adding another step, and with the celebration of one hand opening, I'm not finding that to be the case. This one's quite stiff. All of these tools did free up with some machining oil. I just poured it into the joints there, opened and closed each one about 3 times, and then wiped away the excess. So oiling it did help. You'll notice though, the finish, you can see it's gray, black with a little smear. There's gray on this one. So the black finish is already starting to wear off in 24 hours of use. I've been dry firing these, just opening and closing them, getting used to which ones where. I've relied on this so much that without looking, I know where each one of the tools are, which one of the tools it is. Based on rubbing my finger along the side, I know I am not up against the side with the key ring, and I can figure out where the tool sets are without looking at the tool. That took 5 years to develop, and a high degree of nerdism. But this one, I'm still trying to learn the orientations of and all. And you can see here with the sheen, there we go, some very light machining marks. Doesn't speak highly to the quality control. Does that affect functionality? Absolutely not. Is that a large amount of the tool that you or other people will be looking at? Arguably. The blade, not that blade, this blade. This blade is quite sharp, and the tip is quite sharp. And I know that because somewhere around here, I had a little bit of that red stuff coming out. Absolutely my fault for accidentally pricking myself, but it is sharp enough to prick. How about that? Other than that, I'm not really seeing anything that's making me regret the purchase or anything. It is a completely new system. It is something I'm going to have to learn. I've started developing some tips and tricks along the way. So this one, we have the clip on this side, so you have your cutter on this side, and you have your clippers on this side, so CCC, right? And then on this side it's smooth, so you have your serrated blade and your saw or your file. So that's an easy way for me to start learning the exterior tool set. Hey, I actually got that one-handed. Oh, that's a trick too, since you're here. You can just push this and start opening it, and you'll notice you're going to have some sympathetic opening sometimes. Also kind of a proof of the quality control or lack thereof. But what you can do is, instead of opening the blade, you can put these fingers up against the other 4 tools. And what that's going to do is, one, it's going to give me a better grip on the tool, right? I'm less likely to drop it than trying to do this whole thing. Mostly this finger is pushing into that part of my hand, and these 2 are stability. Versus going like this, I'm now holding that tool 1, 2, 3 points of contact. And that's going to allow me to get just the blade to open while holding the rest of the tool set in place. And then you'll get your click. To me, if you're going to have locking tools, they need to lock 100% of the time. I have no locking tools here. I think it's been a good long while since I stabbed myself with this one. But I have learned how a slip joint works and how to rely on that slip joint, and I can rely on it 100% of the time. This one, I'm finding the locking mechanism to be 20% of the time. Again, if I do this, that blade is not locked because these have opened. And it has to go to that point to get it to snap into place without those openings. So there's a couple more variables with this. It's something I'm learning. That magnet being there also helps with the tool not accidentally, if I'm holding here and there and pushing away, this isn't going to slip away before the blade starts opening. I'm going to have to do a little bit more oiling and just getting everything loosened up. Hopefully that sympathetic opening thing won't be as big of an issue. If you look here, across the cut, you can see they're inconsistent depths, or I'm not sure what that would be, but this should be a straight line all the way across, and it's not. Kind of another quality control thing. And you'll also notice this one has 2 shims. This one has 2 shims. That one has 1, that one has 1, that one has 1. We have a bigger one here and smaller ones there. So visually, it draws my eye in. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that during this ramble. And I feel like that's just a way for them to account for, well, this is a longer one. It has a bit of a bend to it. So let me add 2 shims there, and that will take up the spacing for the lack of quality control on those individual components, kind of thing. Could be. I don't know. I haven't built a multi-tool. I just use them and rely on them. So those are my observations so far. I have read on the internet that the file is poop, and so far I would say that's not the case. I will say, if you look at the teeth, it is inconsistent. So like here appears to be pretty decent, but as you continue down, the teeth count and arrangement seems to just be kind of haphazard. Versus the tooth count set arrangement on the Swiss Army knife. After 5 years of use from me, and used before that, so that does draw my attention. It still absolutely grabs, so I'm a function over fashion kind of guy. If it works, I care less than if it didn't. But honestly, I've been using that on my nails and a little bit on like wood to smooth something out, and I haven't really noticed an issue. Is it as good as the Victorinox? I would say arguably not. More so because the cutting surface is a quarter less on this, so you have less throw, which means you're doing at no more than 25% less, or no less than 25% less scraping with this, because you have less of a shank that you're trying to shave stuff down with. But honestly, I feel like I read that they may have upgraded these at some point. Possibly I have this upgraded one. The coworker who has one of these says that he also purchased his used. This one's new out of the box. And he said his file, compared to this one, he didn't really notice a difference. So I don't know if that helps the theory or hurts the theory. But the Sol, or the file here, could be upgraded, and his is upgraded as well, or both of ours are not the upgraded one, and it seems to be working perfectly fine. I have not used it on metal. I really don't have a need to use it on metal in my personal life. The other one is the scissors. There is a... Since I oiled it and have been opening it, it has been better, but usually it would stop like right here, and you would feel a click, and you would think that that would be the tool locked into place. But as you can see, the tool may have gotten into its locking joint, but the spring okay, so there it is. There's the false one, and there's the full one. And you can see now the spring, first the tool, the rearmost cutting edge, locked into place. The second click, which is necessary, is this spring having something to tension against. And now the tool set works. I say all that. It has gotten better with oil. It has gotten better with opening and closing. And by design, in order to use this, you have to push forward with your thumb. And the more you push forward to try and get it to start cutting, the more you're going to leverage the scissor into its locked position. So it is a problem that will sort itself out. Once we get to the actual scissor and performance itself, it works pretty good. So we have a paper towel here. If I hold the paper towel out here, do a full cut, cut all the way through, do a half cut, cut all the way through, do just the tip, haha, it goes all the way through. So this is a very easy to fold over near fabric material that I'm holding away from me, right? I'm not holding it tensioned and giving it its best opportunity. I'm holding it way out here where the only thing allowing it to cut is the scissor. And the scissor seems to be working fine. It is not as nice as the Victorinox. It is not as large as the Victorinox. It does not have as long of a cutting angle as the Victorinox, but it's not a Victorinox. And it's also not the size of a Victorinox. So all in all, I feel like scissors are necessary for what I need with my multi-tools, possibly the same with you. For the size, looking at just 3" by 1" by a ½ inch, not including the belt clip, I'd say the scissors are very decent. And that's, I think, where we're going to end it with the 24-hour review so far. I will follow up with a 1-week review and a 1-month review because someone out there cares about this. Maybe as much as I do. I do like this magnet. I do keep a magnet on my multi-tools. I have one right here. And I've magnetized most of the tools. I set this on a magnet overnight, and it helps me, especially the much maligned fish descaler here. I've magnetized it enough where I can pick up like a pen, or sometimes, depending on the material, a small screw like a computer screw or something with it. And if that doesn't work, if you slap a neodymium magnet on the back, it will magnetize the shank, and I can pick up stuff a little heavier with a stronger magnet being translated through the reach of the scaler. Not really sure why I brought that up, but so far, it has most of the tools that I would like. I really the one thing that would have given it like a complete whole more star more would be if it came with a wood saw, which it doesn't. I find that more useful than the serrated edge. I do not like serrated knives. I don't have a purpose for serrated knives, and that's the closest I'm going to have to a wood saw. Mostly for clearing branches and twigs and stuff off of the property, and we have a pathway down to the creek and blah blah blah. So that is the 24-hour review so far. We have some degradation, disintegration of the black coating. My friend's stainless steel one doesn't seem to have nearly as much erosion, smoothing of his joints, so I think it's more this is a stainless steel that has been painted or treated or whatever, and that treatment painted is coming off. Other than that, it's freeing up the more I use it. It disappears on my belt. It's 4.2 ounces according to the manufacturer. You can freeze that if you're interested. But it is 50% lighter, probably 50% smaller overall package. I would say. And it has essentially most of the tools that I need. All of them seem to be functional. Some of them will be used more than others, and I will report back on that in 1 week's time. So, as always, this is outside the target demographic. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, experience you have, go ahead and leave that in the comments section below, and I will catch you guys in the next video.